welcome back our co-hosts in this 9 o'clock hour, the Admiral Bill Stubblefield, two-star.
Good morning, Rob. Great to be here as always.
New York Times best-selling author John Gilstrap. He killed a family of 4 over the weekend, John.
I did, but only in my imagination and on the page.
Well, that goes without
and
saying.
that's the story I'm sticking to.
That's why he bought a house by a lot of woods.
Yeah, and his wife's going to mysteriously disappear for 3 or 4 weeks and maybe longer. We got to look underneath this, see what's happening.
I think I saw this on a Columbo rerun this weekend.
Yeah.
The thing I never understood about Columbo, did you watch Columbo?
Oh, I love Columbo,
Did you ever watch Columbo, Bill?
Peter Falk.
No, not really.
You know what? Why didn't the person at the beginning of the episode just say, you're going to have to talk to my attorney? They'd have gotten themselves out of so much trouble. Because they talked themselves into being guilty.
Yeah.
I get one better than that. You ever watch Murder, She Wrote?
Yeah.
Why would you ever invite Jessica Fletcher to a party?
Well, that's fair enough, right? Isn't there a new version of that on now?
Murder, She Wrote?
It's like a second...
no, there's a Matlock. There's
Matlock.
a Matlock.
Is it Matlock?
Which is actually pretty good.
With Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, okay. I think it was something like that.
It had to be better than the first one, and it is.
I didn't watch Matlock, so I don't know if it was good or not.
Poor Andy.
Yeah, I did watch reruns of Mayberry RFD when I was a kid, or Andy Griffith Show, whatever that was. That voice you heard right there, the mayor of the city of Martinsburg, Kevin Knowles. He's here with a different hat on today, though. And
Good morning.
His headphones are in a much different position, too. Are you okay there?
I had a little tough time getting it on here.
Oh, they're fighting you back.
Yeah, they're fighting me.
Yeah, are you all
At
right?
least I'm not going to disappear
Are you settled?
for a little bit.
Not yet.
Well,
He will eventually.
I'm a tough one to disappear from.
Yeah, how you been, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Excellent. So you're here in your role as the head of the Eastern Panhandle Home Builders Association.
Yeah, executive officer of the Eastern Panhandle Home Builders Association, and now we're getting geared up for our biggest event that we have throughout the year, the 2025 home show at the Roundhouse on the 29th and 30th of March, and we're really excited. I mean, this is our biggest event throughout the year. Not only does it help the Home Builders Association, but it also helps our sponsors and the people that pay to have a booth and table. We wouldn't be able to do anything without the support of the sponsors. We have City National Bank who's here today. WR&R, you guys do a great job in sponsoring and helping us out in our event, and we're really appreciative of it.
Let's say good morning to Laura Chandler.
Good morning.
What's up, Chandler?
Hi.
How you been?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, mortgage specialist, correct? How many years you been doing this?
Since 1998.
98? Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good run, right? You've seen a few changes over the years.
I've seen a lot.
Yeah? What was the most challenging mortgage period? Was it right after 2008, 2009?
It was.
Yeah. How long did it take to recover from that?
A while. At the time I had moved to City National Bank, where I am now, and thank goodness, because we have a really strong product. We have, lots to offer, and a customer base, which is nice.
Yeah, and we're in terms of 2025. Are we on like what you would consider normal? Every kind of year should be like this terms, or is it a little different?
It's a little different. Interest rates are higher than what we've seen in the past few years, and I think we're kind of in this mode to stay for a little bit. The market is changing a little bit. Last year, I think we had a lot of challenges. This year, it seems to be the numbers anyway. The numbers say that we're doing more business this year.
Is there more home building going on this year?
Yes.
Than last year, or is it about the same as last year?
I don't know that, to be honest with you. It seems like there's a lot of new construction. So
yeah. So for the longest time, people were saying, I don't want to trade in my 3% mortgage from 10 years ago for a 7% mortgage today. But at some point along the way, people need to get a different house, whether they need a bigger house or a smaller house or whatever. At some point along the way, you just got to kind of bite the bullet. Is that kind of what's going on?
I see that happening a lot, where people have been thinking about it for a while, and now they're starting to have those conversations. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more inventory this year. And we'll see what happens.
Laura, this is we hear a lot about tariffs. That's all we talk about here, and especially the tariffs with Canada. And lumber is one that's the spotlight's on. If the tariffs are in fact imposed, What will that do to the housing market? I've heard $10,000 to $15,000, $20,000 more per house.
Yeah, could possibly be,
Yeah.
and Kevin might be a better person to answer that question.
Yeah, we keep an eye on that, Bill, because keep in mind when COVID was around, the prices of lumber almost doubled or tripled, and it was very hard to get things from market to the site, and I think something like that, we're going to start seeing that again if that does take place, and for the Home Builders Association, that is something that we keep an eye on a very close basis. And there's a lot of times that we look at legislation not only on the state level but on the federal level to make sure that we're aligning ourselves up and keeping our membership abreast of what's happening and what the prices may or may not be.
Laura, I would think that mortgages would be sort of a canary in the coal mine in terms of the impact of some of the layoffs from the federal workers and that sort of thing. Are you seeing any churn in the market? Any areas of concern?
A little bit of buzz, but I haven't really talked to a lot of customers that have made any decisions. Of course, we do have a lot of our customer base is federal workers, so we'll see how that plays itself out.
And with the higher rates, are the products like the adjustable rate mortgages becoming more and more popular?
Yeah, that's a product that I actually do a lot of. The star of the show at City National is our Champion Mortgage, which is 100% financing with no PMI, and it is an adjustable rate. And right now, it works well for this type of market.
How do you avoid the PMI?
It's an in-house product. It's something that we developed, we came up with, and we service this loan. So, and there is an underwriting strategy to that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that require a super high credit score?
680 credit score.
That's not super high.
But go back to PMI for us not in mortgages. What does PMI mean?
PMI is essentially foreclosure insurance. If you have less than 20% to put down, typically
Private mortgage insurance.
private
well.
mortgage
Okay, thank you.
insurance.
Yes, typically if you're a first-time home buyer, you like when I first bought a home, it was an FHA mortgage. I think you only had to put like 3% down or something like that.
3.5%, yes.
300%. So first-time buyers typically don't have a lot of money in the bank, so you put less down. But then, as a consequence, you have private mortgage insurance, which can add another however many dollars to your monthly note. And if you don't have to pay that PMI, that's a bonus.
Right.
Yeah, because that PMI can be 60, 70, $100, $200 a month,
That's
depending
correct.
on the size of the mortgage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you can get it taken off once your equity in your home reaches a certain level, but then you have to go back and it doesn't happen automatically. You have to apply for that and whatever. It's a bit of a production. So if you don't have to deal with it, it's a huge benefit. Mm-hmm. Do a lot of banks do that? Or is this kind of unique to what City does?
This is unique to City.
Yeah.
And yeah, something that we've been doing for over 20 years.
I think I remember interviewing you at the home show even 15 years ago talking about this mortgage.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So how many, if you're talking about writing so many mortgages a year, what percentage take advantage of this program?
Oh, goodness, that's a good question. I also do a lot of land loans as well. So there's a lot of that happening now. A lot of people buying land and with the thought of building in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, probably 75% of what I'm doing is my Champion Mortgage or,
Really?
or a variation of it. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good, Mr. Knowles.
I remember when rates used to be double digits.
So do I.
Sure.
That was my first house was 10.5%.
That's right.
What was yours, John?
13.
13, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were really not seeing what it was like back in the day when we really didn't have any money.
Mm-hmm.
At least I didn't have
No, I
any.
didn't. Yeah. The 70s were a tough time. 70s, 80s. My first house purchase was in 88. So it started up when we went to sign. It was 9.5% with the builder. And by the time we got to closing, 2 months later, it was 10.5%. So in those days, it was going up pretty fast.
My 13% was part of a 3-year ARM. So that was
You were buying it down, basically.
yeah. So it was,
Yeah. So 7% by comparison is pretty attractive.
Yes, it is.
Right? Any idea what the current rate is today?
We're between 6.5%.
Yeah.
it's come down from the high of recent times.
Historically, that's a pretty good rate.
Yeah.
Right? All right, Kevin, how many vendors are we talking about for the home show this year?
Well, we have 125 vendors. I believe we have 3 booths left. So we're really moving forward. Anybody that wants to get on board, they need to contact the Home Builders Association, go on our webpage or on our social media Facebook page and sign up because once we're full, of course, we're not going to be taking it anymore. We're limited with space that we have down at the Roundhouse, and it really filled up real quick. And there are nonprofits that we're working with also that are taking tables down there. And the only thing that we ask for nonprofits is we won't charge them if they can give us 4 hours of volunteer time during the event. So we have a lot of nonprofits taking advantage of that. Some are able to offer or take advantage of that 4 hours, and some aren't. So
what would you get for that 4 hours nonprofit work?
well, they would be visible.
Or
But
volunteer,
they would
okay.
have they would have a table at the event, whether it be in the Roundhouse or in the other part of the building, that they could display what their organization is about. Keep in mind, you're going to have over 5,000 people come through there throughout the weekend, and that's what we've been averaging, between 5,000 and 5,500 over the weekend. And typically a lot of them come through on Saturday, because Sundays have been iffy the last couple of years. But we're hoping and praying that we get some good weather like we've been seeing here recently. And I wish I had the line that Main Street Martinsburg has, because every time they have an event a week or two before us, they have 70-degree weather, and it looks like they're going to have 70-degree weather this weekend. And we're kind of last year we had it the first week of April, and this year we moved it back. Only it goes with when Easter is. Now next year, Easter falls on the first weekend of April, so we're going to be talking to our committee this week or next week to see if we can plan on maybe doing it the second week of April. We can't go out too far, because keep in mind, the vendors that are there, your landscapers, your builders, your remodelers, your plumbers, your window company, your garage company, this is where they come and set up so that they can schedule their work out for the rest of the summer. They get all kinds of leads and contracts there while they're there throughout the weekend to set up their work for the rest of the year.
So the Roundhouse is in the city of Martinsburg, but the city of Martinsburg does not control the Roundhouse. It has its own authority, correct?
Correct.
All right. So what is the relationship, and I'm going to ask you to put your mayor hat on here for a second. What is the relationship between Kevin Knowles, the mayor, Kevin Knowles, the executive director of the Eastern Panhandle Home Builders Association, and the Roundhouse?
Well, I think the relationship is the same as far as on a personal basis. We at the Home Builders Association, as mayor, I'd like to see an event like that happening in the middle of town, because not only does it affect 5,000 people throughout the Roundhouse, but it also brings people to the downtown, because they're going to have to park within the parking lots within the city. We have like 5 parking lots that they can park for free on the weekend, and we're going to have Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority going to be picking people up, shuttling them down. So it's kind of an ebb and flow as far as who I am as the Home Builders Association executive officer and who I am as mayor.
So in regards to the access to the Roundhouse this year, you changed that last year to make it a bit easier to get there.
Yes, and now it's marked. It's called Roundhouse Way. It's coming off of Queen Street before you go under the underpass on the north side. So there'll be signs directed as they were last year, but this year should be a little bit different now that the street has been named. That people will be able to have easy access to get into the Roundhouse. Getting out, as I say, they'll find a way out. You can't go out that way you came in, but you could go out up through Liberty Street, up to High Street, and different areas to get out of the area at the time. But
I'm glad you changed that, because the first year trying to find my way there, I remember, it was a bit of an adventure.
yeah, it's tough. I mean, and now we're going to have directional signs that are going to be directing into there. We have the sign from the police department that has the mobile digital bulletin board, so to say, and we'll be able to utilize that for that to direct people into that area.
And if you're going to drive there, it's easy to park in town and then walk across the bridge and get there that way. But if you're going to drive there, maybe you're a vendor or whatever, what's the parking situation?
Yeah, parking, that's always the question, but there is a lot of parking that is on site that we've been able to thank goodness for the local Boy Scouts, because they handle all the parking, and then they do a great job of parking individuals in the back field of the roundhouse, around the roundhouse, and up in the front towards the road. So if you get there early enough, you're going to find a parking spot on site. Later on in the day, you're going to be needing to get parking over at the train station or the other designated parking lots within the city, and there'll be signs that identify those. And next to those signs would be the pickup for the Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority to drive you down. Either they would drive you down to the station, the train station, and then you could take the platform over.
What buildings?
Is parking at the train station free on that weekend?
Yes. All parking within the city is free at any meters on every Saturday and Sunday.
What buildings will you be using for the home show?
Okay, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but it's going to be the Roundhouse, and it's I believe it's the Switch Building, which is the one that we've used all the time. They tell me that the other building is starting to come up to an area where we may be able to utilize some of that next year. But again, we have to keep in mind that we have to be handicap accessible for individuals to come in and make it as easy as possible for that to happen. And right now, that other building is not going to be able to be utilized because of the ground on the first floor. But you're going to see some heat and air conditioning in there over the next year, which is, I want to say it's done now. The installation is done, but I think we're just waiting on some things before they really kick that into form there.
So what about the important stuff, food?
Well, we're also going to have 4 food trucks there. We're going to have F&N flatbreads. I said that right. And we're going to have food by fire, barbecue, and we're going to have I'm drawing a blank. We're going to have 2 others there that are going to be able to supply, like a what's that dough that you put sugar on?
I know what you're talking about.
That and potatoes.
Funnel cakes.
Funnel
cakes, yes. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. That's why I brought her. Funnel cakes and,
got that banking
and
expertise.
potatoes, and then another one's going to have burgers and stuff like that. So there'll be plenty of opportunities to try different types of food while you're there.
Kevin, going back to the Roundhouse itself for a second, I know there's a lot of money put in by Senator Byrd several years ago for structural repairs to the Roundhouse. That's much needed. What does the Roundhouse get the money now? City, county, federal? Do you have any idea, or the state?
Well, I could tell you that probably all 3 at different times throughout the years, but they are in the process now of doing the upper windows. So the windows around the Roundhouse, they're going to be all new windows put in there. Here, actually, it should be done before the home show. And if that's the case, it'll stay hopefully a little bit warmer or cooler, depending on the weather outside, to be able to make sure that there's no leaks or anything. But the answer to that, Bill, I mean, there's times the city gives a lot of money. There's times that the county's giving a lot of money. There's times the state.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. It's is approximately the same between the city and the county, and then with state grants. Or do you have any?
I think most of their money may come through grants.
Grants.
I mean, I know. I can't say what the county gives. I know the city does give some money on a yearly basis. What that number is, I think a lot of times it is, Bill, that both the city and county just want to see a business plan. What's going to happen moving forward, and this is a conversation. Now you got me with the mayor hat on here. This is a conversation that that has happened year in, year out. That there's been a lot of money that's been going to that over the years, and we just we got to come to a point somewhere, whether it's city and county, state and federal, whoever it is, to be able to really step up and move that place forward. Because nickel and diamond stuff, as time goes by, you may do a project here, and then 10 years later you got to redo it instead of kind of moving the ball a little quicker. And unfortunately, on the county and city's part, budget-wise, neither entities have the money to support something like that at this point.
Is it possible to do heating and air conditioning in the Roundhouse itself?
Well, that's a good question. I have for next year. There's a possibility that we'll have temporary heat in there. It came late to my attention that there was an opportunity to put temporary heating hung around the metal there, but that's cast iron, and there's all kinds of weight restrictions that are on it because of the age and everything. So we weren't able to get that approved, and we're hoping that next year it gets approved that we'll be able to have heat within the roundhouse. But the real answer to that, I don't know as far as what the historical structure would be as far as what you can or cannot put in there. I can't imagine that there can't be some type of way to do it, but I think what it is, it's very cost prohibitive because of what you have to do to make it happen. So I think that's going to be a very, very expensive cost.
Rob, it seems like 6 months ago, maybe longer, we had a group in here. Maybe it was the Roundhouse Commission proposing a performance venue to be built in there. Is there any progress on that at all?
Well, I mean, I've heard that not inside.
They were drawing.
It's
an outdoor amphitheater.
It's the outdoor amphitheater from the building that had caught on fire years ago. So where that's at, I don't know. I haven't heard anything of that moving any forward any quicker in the near future.
20th Annual Home Show at the end of this month. Are there drawings and giveaways as usual, Kevin?
Yes, there is. Pine. Is it Pine? I know I'm going to get this
Pine
wrong.
Cliff, I think it is.
I better get this right. But yes, there are giveaways. We will have Pine Creek Structures.
There you go.
They are our platinum sponsor, and they give away $1,000 worth of outdoor furniture in a drawing every year. And they're every individual booth and table may or may not have giveaways. I know that one year, and the last couple of years, High Point Roofing has given away a free roof. I think that's quite
catches you have to carry it out of there.
yeah, there is a catch to it, right? I wouldn't want to catch that one though.
So there's also a silent auction.
Yes, and the silent auction is a huge opportunity for businesses and individuals that one can't make the home show, can't be there for the weekend, can't make the cost, that they can donate an item to the silent auction, and they would get recognition at that silent auction, and that is one of those items that we have there that is very popular. That people come in. I mean, there's ball game tickets, some really high end items that are there for somebody to bid on. Last year, I ended up partnering up with someone from Nagley's and Nagley's Water, and we were able to go to a Pittsburgh game, and we had a very nice time there.
Laura, where will you be located for this home show?
We are in the Roundhouse, same spot as we've been the last several years since we've been at the Roundhouse, and we'll be giving away coffee.
Ooh. Hopefully we won't need it because it's cold.
Hopefully the electric tanks can handle it.
We came up with a plan for that.
Was it the coffee pot that sent you out last
yes,
year?
Yes, it was. It was the coffees that did. Well, it's amazing. Those little machines, as much electric that they pull, anytime that somebody popped a coffee thing on, it would pop the whole place down.
That's why I don't drink coffee. It's for the greater good.
Yeah. But it's my understanding that there's been upgrades made, and that that first year or second year is when we saw that issue. I don't think we've seen that the last 2 years, and hopefully, with the upgrades and everything, we'll be able to do a little bit more. And we're excited about this happening. So,
all right, where can you go to find out more about the home show?
You can go to our Facebook page, Eastern Panhandle Home Show. You can also go to our homepage of the Eastern Panhandle Home Builders Association on our website and get all the information there.
Thank you, Kevin. Laura, thank you. Good to see you again.
Thanks,
Thank you.
And I'll see you at the home show
That's right.
in about 3 weeks, too.
You got it.